What's the motherfucking deal, SauceNation? It's your boy Ed Honcho, aka at the real Ed Honcho on Instagram and Twitter. But if you want those H-Town saucy, just flavored sports takes, then you got to hit me on Sauce Sports HTX at Sauce Sports HTX on Twitter. And if you don't know what Sauce Sports is, this is a Sauce Sports special. Sauce Sports is a Houston homer channel, so we talking Rockets, Texans, Astros, Dynamo, Dash. We talking collegiate, professional, amateur, high school, semi-pro, whatever it may be. If it's an athlete that came to H-Town, that they had a flat tire in the city, and somebody took a picture of it and saw them and had proof they was in H-Town, we gonna put some sauce on. We're gonna put some flavor on. We're gonna splash. We're gonna just everywhere. But like I say, if you're not a fan of H-Town, if you're not a Houston fan, then I advise you to get up out of the Toyota Center right now. Get off the Rockets home court. That's where we at right now. Because we finna talk a little bit of Rockets. We're gonna talk some of this crazy free agency talk. And we finna see what's happening. I'm finna tell you what I'm thinking about this whole, all these rumors, the Chris Paul, Paul George, all these things going on. I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna talk about it because I was like, the Paul George thing, I don't want to hear it. Until I saw something on my phone talking about that the Rockets are in contact with Indiana about Paul George services. So let me tell you first and foremost why I don't think Paul George will come to Houston. I would love to have him in Houston. I'm going to tell you a few reasons why I don't and why I do, and I'm going to tell you the pros and cons, and then, we're going to go from there. One, why I don't think Paul George comes to Houston. My number one main reason is this. Paul George's nickname is PG-13. James Harden, where's number 13? This is James Harden's team. Do you know how it won't happen? But I would have very, very, very little faith in James if he gave that number up just to get Paul George here. Harden is 13, you know what I'm saying? You smell what the Rockets are cooking. You know how this goes. You know how we get into Sauce Sports. They cooking up sauce. You smell what the Rockets are cooking. They cooking up sauce, and this is Sauce Sports, so this is why we talking about it. But man, I would love to have PG-13. I'd love to have Chris Paul come in and that be that nucleus. James, Paul, let Paul's pump break. Now I'm saying I would love to have Chris Paul here, and I'm saying I would love to have Paul George in Houston. But I got to tell you guys something, honestly. I got to be careful because I have a thing about people with two first names. Paul George, can't trust that guy. Can't trust him. Don't know what to call him. Can't trust him. Chris Paul, two first names. Can't trust him. I don't know about all that. That's a lot of Pauls on one team, a lot of stuff going on. Even kind of Patrick Beverly kind of works like that. Beverly. Patrick. Anyway, we ain't gonna put the mongoose in there. Y'all already know the mongoose. But here's my thing with that though, is like I said, because Patrick has been making some comments over the last couple of days, seen some stuff over the weekend where he was kind of, he's like, I'd like to be extended. I know a lot of teams are willing to have my services. I hear about Chris Paul, so if they're talking about trading and, hey, I'd love to be here. We love Pat Beverly in Houston. We love the mongoose because he getting that ass. Like I said, I call him the mongoose because he like Ricky Tikki Tavi. You know what I'm saying? When I don't know if y'all know the story of Ricky Tikki Tavi. If you find and go look up the old cartoon, Google that shit. It's worth your time. Ricky Tikki Tavi was a gangster. He was a mongoose. If you ain't never heard that story, watch that shit. Thank me later. Anyway, so I'm telling you, even if it may be for the improving the team, I hate to see Patrick Beverly go. But if there's a way that you can acquire some moves, and what I'm thinking is you may be able to get a first for Gordon or Beverly. You may be able to get something like that. If you can get a first for either one of those guys and offer some trades or something, you may have a chance. I just don't know how it changes the whole game. It changes the whole dynamic because you bring those guys in. Is this still James' team? Does James turn these guys into a bunch of, does he introduce them to the H-Town strip clubs? Do they start sipping drink? They start leaning? Do they get on the sauce? No, I don't know all that happening. But what I'm saying is I just know that it definitely will change the dynamic. It'll be a lot of egos, a lot of personalities to manage. I think that D'Antoni can do it. But we'll just have to see what happens, The thing is, Paul George mentioned he want to go to a contender. Then he mentioned about the Lakers, which they're not even close to contending right now. Houston is a contender. If you can bring in Chris Paul, and I think if you can get a piece to entice the other, if you can make a trade with the Pacers, which Morey, he'll pull a fucking rabbit out of a hat. I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple hours we see that Paul George, they made a trade for his ass somehow. When Moore's in the mix, I never count him out until it's over with. But, it's a lot of egos. Those dynamics change. But you're going to have a lot of guys who can do a lot of shit, and you're going to need that kind of firepower, especially if you can keep Lou or have him coming off the bench, you know, to where you keep that scoring going. I mean, if there's a way that you can manage this and keep, you know, Gordon or Bev or who, I don't know what he's going to have to. I don't know what more he's got up his sleeve. He's been saying for a while that he's had some tricks up his sleeve. So, like I say, I never count Daryl Morey out because he's always up to something. He's always up to something. So, I don't know. Would I like to see those guys in Rockets jerseys? Absolutely. They're super talented. Of course, you want to be able to compete. It's not what you had last year, what you loved last year, but I think if you can keep most of those pieces, you can keep that nucleus, that core together for the most part, and, you know, somehow, like we say, retain the services and they we'll see what happens. But I do expect, even if it's not Chris Paul, Paul George, or any of those guys, I do expect to see a big name end up on the Rockets after this summer. After all the talks are over, with all the stuff has gone down, when the smoke clears, expect to have a new big name on the Rockets. I do, because I don't think Morey's going to sit around and just let this Warrior shit go on for so long, because he knows that we're just a piece away or another talent away. Because, like I say, I don't even think we really need – we don't need three, big three. You know, we could do – James is a solid player. We can get another guy to complement that and complement his game. Then I think we can really give people some fits. We can really make people run. We can really make people earn it. But with that being said, like I say, the probability of all this coming together – I'm going to say there's a 15% chance of seeing George, Paul, and George, you know what I'm saying? George, Paul, and Harden on the court together next year. I would love it. I'd be ecstatic. I'd go crazy. If the Rockets can pull off that move to get Paul George here, I think that solidifies Chris Paul coming to the Rockets. If they can, like I said, if they can work all that out, I think that solidifies. I think he'd rather have Harden and you'd rather ball with Harden and Paul George, I think, than, say, Kawhi and LaMarcus, LA. Because LA's game, I don't know what happened. Like I said, when everybody got hurt, then he kind of came back to life because they had to run it through him. But I don't see Aldridge's not the same dude. He's not playing the same way. Paul George is a baller. James Harden's a baller. MVP consideration candidate. Who you know, say you get that out of him or Kawhi. But then when you look at the next man up, who would you rather have, LA or PG? So, of course, you're going to go with Paul George at this point. Anyway, with that being said, like I say, man, this is a South Sports special. Talking a little HTOWN. We were just talking hypotheticals. We're talking free agency, and I wasn't even going to talk about this shit, I promise, until I actually saw that there was some potential for the shit happening. I saw people were hitting me up, what do you think about Paul George? I'd love to have Paul George. I've heard about Hayward. I've heard about it. Let's see what happens. So I'm excited like y'all. Like I said, I'm a fan talking to fans. This is just commentary. So let me know what y'all think. What do you think would be the ideal situation for the Rockets to have success next year to come out the West as champions? Do we need Paul George, Chris Paul, and Harden all together on the same team? What pieces can we afford to lose and still make that run? Do you think that that's possible? Do you think that that is changing too much up, that it's not going to be the same and it's going to take too much for those egos to mesh? Because you've seen guys like with Chris Paul and the Clippers, that's a lot of talent on that team. But then they weren't performing. They weren't really doing that well. And so, I mean, not that they weren't doing well. They weren't living up to expectations. So I don't know if that's on Rivers. I don't know how you look at that. But with that being said, like I said, I'm your boy Ed Honcho. Catch me at The Real Ed Honcho on Instagram and Twitter. This is South Sports. SauceNation, as always. Like I said, last time I checked, I think we were 9 away. Hopefully we can hit that 9. I got something special for y'all. With that being said, like I say, do something, man. I'm your boy Ed Honcho, SauceNation. Y'all be cool. I love each and every one of y'all. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Every subscription, every subscriber, every view, every video. Even if you don't like me, even if you hating on me, you know what I'm saying? If you coming just to give me a thumbs down, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Because that means you still taking a few seconds out of your day to show your boy some kind of attention. But like I say, man, I appreciate that love, man, because time is valuable and it ain't guaranteed to nobody. So the fact that you spend, even if it's 2 or 3 minutes with me, not even watching the whole video, I appreciate that. But that being said, like I say, do stuff. SauceNation, y'all be cool. Holla at your boy, Ed Honcho. I'm out.